Good. So all that brings me to today's legislative action. I'm signing a couple pieces of legislation, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And why are these bills necessary? Well, one of the reasons I think they're necessary is this issue that just happened with the media is running that there were 96 shots fired. And they're trying to put the police officers under the gun. So you see these headlines, and they're trying to cause division in society. They're trying to create a narrative. They know what they're doing. And sometimes you got to read like 8 paragraphs down. And then when you do that, they have to admit that this guy was shooting at the police officers first. So how are you in a situation where it's at all controversial to have a criminal suspect shooting at and hitting one of the police officers, firing shots, and they're not supposed to be able to respond in kind? They not only have a right to respond in kind, they have a duty to respond in kind when somebody is using lethal force against them. So how this is trying to be packaged into some narrative against the police officers, and they're trying to de-emphasize the fact that this guy shot, I think he shot his entire magazine because he shot at least 10 shots, so it was 10 to 12 shots he was shooting. So then, of course, these other officers are going to respond in kind. That just shows you, though, what I think people in uniform can be up against, because whether you did the right thing is not what some of these folks in the media care about. The media cares about is can they contort that in a way that is going to cause titillation, that's going to get more clicks, that's going to drive more viewership, that's going to cause more controversy. And they're perfectly willing to use a faithful law enforcement officer who's done it by the book. They're totally willing to throw that person under the bus if they think it can further the narrative. And the facts don't matter to these folks. And we've seen it time and time again in some of these situations. So this is the context that I think that we're dealing with here when we're talking about that. And the fact that that was portrayed the way it has been in some of these media outlets has been really, really disturbing to try to de-emphasize the fact that this guy fired on the police first. So we're going to do a couple bills that I think provides support for people who are wearing the uniform and recognizes that we've got some strange currents going on in our society right now that really seek to delegitimize law enforcement and what they're doing. So the first bill, SB 184, is going to prohibit the harassment of a police officer or first responder when they're actively doing their job. You shouldn't be in a situation where you're at a traffic stop, you're responding to a call of someone in distress, and then you have people come trying to interdict or trying to harass you from performing your duty. So if you do that, we view that as a problem, and now you're going to be held accountable. The other bill is HB 601, and what it's going to do is it really puts the kibosh on these extrajudicial investigations against law enforcement. They'll set up these things called citizen review boards, usually in these very tilted politically jurisdictions. They'll stack it with activists, and they'll just start reviewing things and trying to put people under the gun, even if there's no basis to do that. So we view that as very much a political weapon. We don't think that that will contribute to public safety at all. In fact, we think that that would hurt public safety. And so this bill really stops that from happening. If you have review boards, that's fine, but it's got to be done in ways where you have the sheriff or chief of police appointing people, because the sheriffs and the chief of police, they have an interest in ensuring that their personnel are conducting themselves appropriately as well. I mean, good order and discipline is very important, but it can't be people that have an agenda. So this bill is going to do that. I think it's going to be something that is going to give more peace of mind to people who are wearing the uniform. And that was the one thing that I hear when people come from some of these jurisdictions and move to Florida, get the bonus, and then they start serving, is they just have the radical difference. Yes, we have lower taxes, the weather, all that stuff, but they felt that the deck was stacked against them, that people wanted them to fail in their former jurisdictions, and they feel that they have a lot of support from the state, from the local government, and from the community here in the state of Florida, and that makes a huge difference. That's my morale is higher in Florida than it is in a lot of these jurisdictions. So we're going to keep it going. I want to thank the members of the legislature who are here today. Also thank those who could not be with us here today who were involved in passing this legislation. I think that if you look at the run we've had over the last several years, I don't think there's anyone that can match what we've done to protect the citizens of this state, but particularly to ensure that we respect and protect the men and women who wear the uniform. So, all right, we're going to hear